ब्रो, बॉल अंदर मत जाने देना, वापिस नहीं।
शादी के बाद दोनों को थोड़ा तो एडजस्ट करना ही पड़ेगा ना।
अरे बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, ये तो एकदम फ्लेक्सिबल है। बस AC 23 पे पसंद है।
और हाँ, संडे को सिर्फ राजमा चावल खाता है।
और सुबह डॉट 7 बजे चाय ना मिले तो थोड़ा क्रैंकी हो जाता है।
This court is now in session. Please be seated.
Honor Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, counsel. Good morning, Good morning, Ms. Clancy. All right. Before we bring the jury in, could I talk to counsel over here just for a few minutes?
Cheesy flaming boss burrito. Rolling. Cheesy melting sides. Oozing. Slow aged chili sauce. Flaming. Jalapeno tang. Snapping. Zingy kicks. Poppin'. Crunchy tostada. Make some noise. Every bite, new surprise. Taco Bell cheesy flaming boss burrito. It hits different.
Court, all rise. Jurors in.
Hey. All persons having anything to do before the Honorable William Sullivan, Justice of the Superior Court, now sitting in Plymouth, within and for the Commonwealth. Draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This court is now in session. Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, before the court today, we have the continuation of the jury trial in the matter of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. Ms. Clancy is present. She is represented by Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Sprague and Assistant District Attorney Shannon Buckingham.
All right. Well, thank you, Madam Clerk. Well, good morning. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you those questions, and then we'll talk about our schedule for today. But first off, good morning. Nice to see everyone. Thank you for your patience with us and all the work that you've done so far. So the first question, has any member of the jury read, seen, or heard, or overheard anything from any source that would affect your ability to be a fair and impartial juror in this case? Last question, is there any other serious matter or concern bearing on your service as a juror in this case that anybody needs to bring to my attention at this time? Again, thank you for following those instructions. And in regards to our schedule today, it's going to be, I think it's a little bit different. All right. And a lot of it is because of the progress of the case and kind of where we're going. I anticipate we're going to hear a number of witnesses today, and we may break early. All right. And then because of some of these issues, we're not going to be sitting tomorrow. All right. So you don't have to come in. You can come in if you want, but we're not going to be sitting on this case. So my suggestion would be not to come in and to take that and kind of, and just relax as best you can. And then we'll come in on Monday at 9 o'clock and then expect kind of most of those days then going forward will be mostly kind of the schedule we had the last maybe 3 or 4 days. All right. So I just kind of wanted to give you that as information as early as I can so that we confirm that today. So probably an earlier date today, and we're not sitting tomorrow. Okay. And so with that, we're going to return to the Commonwealth's presentation of evidence. And Commonwealth, will you call your next witness, please?
Thank you. Commonwealth calls Kyle Paveo.
Your Honor, while we're waiting, I apologize. Can we just...
Sure, yeah.
Quick?
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Can you start right here? Raise your right hand for the clerk, please.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony in the evidence you shall give to the court and the jury will not change in the Commonwealth and the town of Gloucester? Truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. You may have a seat.
Just step, please.
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
That's great, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Kyle Paveo, Kyle, last name Pavao,
And where do you work?
Massachusetts State Police.
How long have you worked there?
8 years with 18 total law enforcement experience.
So you worked in law enforcement prior to the state police?
Correct.
In what department?
Town of Mattapoisett.
And are you in a specific role or unit at this time?
I was.
What do you do now?
Now I'm a sergeant in field, assigned to the Bourne Barracks.
And previously, where were you assigned?
I was a trooper in the cybercrime unit.
How long were you in the cybercrime unit?
Roughly 3.5 years or so.
ब्रो बॉल अंदर मत जाने देना वापस नहीं मिलेगी
अब चाहिए एनर्जी प्रेडेटर एनर्जी हर सिप में एनर्जी का जोर है तभी तो गली गली में हो रहा है
That are related to other cases.
Yes, correct.
Do you have to have specialized training to be in that unit?
Yes.
What type of specialized training did you have?
So I am a certified forensic computer examiner. I'm a certified forensic Mac examiner. I'm a Celebrate certified mobile examiner, and I'm a Magnet certified digital video examiner.
What is Celebrate?
Celebrate is it's a company that has proprietary software that parses through data. Most people know it for cell phones. There is a branch that does computers, but it's mostly known for cell phones, extracting data and also parsing that data out.
What about Magnet?
Magnet's the same thing. So Magnet is also another proprietary company. They have software, imaging software. They mainly focus on computers. They can do some cell phone stuff, but they primarily focus on computers.
To be certified in Celebrate and Magnet, did you have to take classes and pass exams?
Yeah, so my forensic computer classes certification is probably like a 6-month-long process. It's 2 weeks of schooling down in Florida. Is then a one-on-one peer review for 4 months, practicals of different file systems and computers. Once you get through that, it then is a practical exam. And then once you pass the practical, it turns into a written exam.
Did you have an opportunity to examine the extraction of a Surface Pro that was seized from 47 Summer Street in Duxbury on or about September 16th, 2025?
I did.
And to be clear, the Surface Pro was seized from 47 Duxbury Street in 2023. It was in 2025 that you examined the extraction, correct?
That is correct. I was provided those files.
And what is an extraction?
So these are actually, it's a computer image. Extractions usually typically referred to as cell phones. So this is a computer image. So this was an actual EO1 file, which is an in-case forensic file. So what it does is it copies out the bit-for-bit data on the particular drive that you targeted at. And then the in-case file sort of compresses the forensic image. It also adds some metadata to it. You can type in like case files. It keeps some integrity to it.
So is it basically you take a computer or a cell phone and you make an exact copy of the data that's on that cell phone or computer?
Yes. Computers, yes. Cell phones, no.
But you were working on a computer or Surface Pro?
Correct.
And so the extraction for the Surface Pro would be a copy of the data that was on the Surface Pro?
Yes. So the image in this case is a bit-for-bit copy of that drive.
And when you do the extraction or when you view the extraction, are you changing any of the data?
No, that's why we use these types of images so we don't touch the actual data on that computer.
Did your initial review of the extraction show a visit to a website entitled Suicide Methods on August 23rd, 2022?
It did.
Were you recently asked to look at that visit to that site to get a better understanding of how that website was accessed?
That is correct.
And how did you approach that?
I set a parameter. I went to that artifact that I had previously tagged when I did the initial analysis.
Let me just stop you there. What's an artifact and what is a tagging?
So an artifact is every single piece of data on that computer is an artifact. So a computer could have 500,000 artifacts, let's say. That's a low end, but as an example. So tagging would be something you would flag that one particular evidence, that one particular artifact as evidence.
So in this case, the artifact was the visit to the website, is that correct?
Correct.
And then the tagging was just so that you could find it when you went back into the extraction looking for it?
Yes, correct.
And so if you could continue telling us about how you approach that.
So I set a parameter of 12 hours before the visit and then 12 hours after the visit and looked at the correlating other digital artifacts related to that.
And can you tell us what's a Chrome history database?
So that's a database essentially, this is a very slimmed down version of what this is. So if you think of an Excel sheet and each Excel page is a section of the database, so the database would be the whole thing. And there's a scheme or like a roadmap, let's say, of how these pages interlink with each other. That would be an entire database. Everything pretty much has databases. It's just easy for file expansion and disk saving space and things of that nature.
And what about Chrome Web History Table?
So a table would essentially be the Excel sheet that I explained before. It's a portion of the entire database. That particular one captures, without being a database engineer for Google, who created it, but that table tracks URLs, web page titles, dates and times.
So is it basically a table that you get from the extraction that shows which websites that computer has visited?
Correct. Each table has its own functions on different data it tracks, and then eventually it puts it all together.
And what about a Chrome Web Visits table?
So the visits table tracks things of were the web pages synced to the device, were they local to the device, are they typed, was it generated, was it gone there through a hyperlink?
So basically, is it a table telling how each website was accessed, whether someone typed in a search for it or clicked a link?
Correct.
And you mentioned a couple different ways: typed, linked, generated. So typed would just be someone typing in the search bar something to search?
Yeah, so typed could be a few different things. So typed would be somebody typed in an exact phrase or word. It also could flag the typed version, a typed flag if you copied and pasted something into the URL address bar.
So if you're looking at a recipe for, say, cookies, and you copied cookies and pasted it into the search bar, would that be considered a typed event?
Yes, correct.
Or if you just typed cookies, that would be a typed event.
Or cookies, or if you typed in, say you put CO for cookies, and then Chrome tried to auto-populate what they think you want to type, that would also create a typed event as well.
And then you mentioned linked. What is a linked access?
Link would be that you clicked on a hyperlink, which brought you to a different page.
And what is a hyperlink?
That would be it's a word phrasing, and then behind the word phrasing, there is a website coded behind that.
Is that like when you go on a website and there are certain words that are underlined that you can click on and it will take you to another page?
Yes, correct.
Okay. What about generated?
Generated is something that Google would suggest, Chrome would suggest.
Now, what is the Wayback Machine?
The Wayback Machine is a website that is it's I don't say monitored. It's created and maintained by the Internet Archive as a company. It's a 501(c) nonprofit. And what that does is it goes out on the internet. It takes snapshots of the internet, web pages all over the entire internet, and then archives that. So you can go back in later. It started like in the mid 90s or so, but you can go back to pick a date, pick a year, and you can see what that website looked like at that time, or approximately. It doesn't copy minute for minute, day for day, but you'll get something around the time that you were looking for of what a particular page looked like at that date and time you want to see.
So with regard to this case and looking into how that site, Suicide Methods, was accessed, what did you learn? Or what did you see?
When I went back?
Yeah, so go ahead. So
I saw, the first thing I saw was a Facebook visit at 9:40 that morning.
9:40 a.m. on August 23rd, 2022?
Correct.
And what was the Facebook?
The link was lynn.say. I believe it was 968.
So Lindsay with a dot in between the D and the S, 969?
969, correct.
And after the visit to the Lindsay.969 Facebook page, what happened next?
There was a search in Spotify music for the singer Tom Hall.
What time was that at?
It was shortly after.
Is your memory exhausted?
Yes.
Do you have your report with
I do.
you, with permission?
Yes. That was at 9:42.
So approximately 2 minutes after the Facebook account was accessed?
Correct.
And that website, was that a Wikipedia page?
No, that was Spotify.
Oh, I'm sorry,
music.
Spotify music. And then what did you see next?
There was a song off of that search in Spotify.
Was that That's How I Got to Memphis song?
Yes.
And was that at 9:44 and 18 seconds a.m.?
Yes.
Then what happened next?
There was a Google search for Tom Hall.
And was that at 9:44 and 30 seconds a.m.?
Yes.
You were able to use the Wayback website to see what that Tom Hall page on Wikipedia looked like around the time of August 23rd, 2022?
I did.
Is this a copy of that Wikipedia page from the Wayback Machine?
Yes.
We can have this marked as the next exhibit.
No objection.
All right.
I have no objection to any of the documents.
This is Tom T. Hall.
Tom Hall, yes.
All right, that may be. Thank you.
Could you see what happened next once the Wikipedia page for Tom Hall was visited?
So I saw there was an anchor on the URL to the death section.
What does that mean, an anchor to the death section?
So an anchor would be put at the end of a URL, so a web address. So what an anchor does, it's a £sign followed by a section of that page. So if you think of it as, say you go on your banking website and it lists like a table of contents and it has login, mortgages, rates. If you click on, let's say, rates, it's going to jump all the way down to that page, just to that section. So it's a table of contents that's going to direct you directly to a certain section of the web page.
And so on the Wikipedia, someone clicked on death and it brought them down to that portion?
Correct.
And in the death section, could you tell what happened once the person was in that area of the webpage?
Yes.
What happened there?
So in the description that described, the Wikipedia page described of Tom Hall's death, there was some wording regarding a shooting related to his ultimate suicide. Go ahead.
Showing you what's been marked now as 232. This portion here under death where it's self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head is underlined. Is that the portion you're referring to?
Yes, correct.
And that portion there with the underlining, is that what you were describing earlier as a hyperlink that you can click and it takes you somewhere else?
Yeah, so inside that phrasing, there's actually a URL behind that with an anchor as well.
Now, something like that, that type of hyperlink, can you hover over that with the arrow that the mouse directs, hover over that and automatically be taken to that site? But you actually have to click on that link?
No, you'd have to click on that phrase with the link behind it.
And so, based on your examination of the Surface Pro in that area, was the hyperlink clicked on?
Yes.
And where did the hyperlink bring the person?
We now got to the original artifact I had located, which was the Wikipedia suicide method, but it directed it directly to the shooting section of that page.
Could you tell how long the person spent on that page, the suicide methods page, or how long it was accessed?
No.
Could you tell what time it was accessed?
Yes.
What time was that?
I don't recall the specific time.
Want to look at your report?
At 9:45 a.m.
So 9:45 a.m. The suicide methods page was accessed. Correct. And did you use the Wayback Machine to see? Is this a copy of what you produced?
Yes.
We can have this marked as the next exhibit.
That may be admitted. Thank you.
And what could you see happening when from that page?
I observed after that another Wikipedia page that went to the Grafton Bridge.
And was that from a hyperlink within the suicide methods page?
Yes.
Showing you page 8 of exhibit 233. So within this jumping section is where there was the hyperlink to that bridge.
Correct.
Here?
Yes.
Grafton Bridge. So again, the person had to click on that hyperlink to access Grafton Bridge?
Yes, that would be correct.
Now, you said that the suicide methods page was accessed at 9:45 a.m. What time was the Grafton Bridge web page accessed?
That was shortly after that.
Do you want to look at your report?
At 9:48.
9:48?
Correct.
And so approximately 3 minutes after first accessing the suicide methods page, the hyperlink for the Grafton Bridge is clicked.
Correct.
Was there any other activity besides going to the suicide methods page and then the Grafton Bridge page? Any other activity that you saw within those 3 minutes?
I do not know.
And so did you do the Wayback Machine again for the Grafton Bridge site?
I did.
This is a fair and accurate copy of that page.
Yes.
We can have this marked as exhibit 234, please.
That may be admitted.
Exhibit 234.
You're not able to tell who's actually at the computer doing all of this, correct?
No.
You can only see what data there is and what's been accessed, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Reddington.
That's it? That's your testimony? That's why you're here today, to talk about a search that was involving Tom Hall, or Tim Hall?
Sustained, if you could.
So I apologize. Your testimony today is based on that search on August 23rd, right?
Correct.
Of 22, right? And you were working as a state police officer back then, right?
Yes, sir.
And were you attached to the Plymouth County DA's office, or were you working somewhere else?
I was assigned to the cybercrime unit.
And the cybercrime unit works with the DA's office in Plymouth?
The cybercrime unit's its own independent statewide unit.
So, in the sense that you're independent, it's still the district attorney and his assistant DAs that would reach out to the cybercrime unit and ask for help, right?
Or it could be the troopers assigned to the state police detective unit.
Joshua McElligott. He was the lead investigator on this case, right? Right?
I assume so.
Okay. So you were tasked to analyze the computer, the Surface Pro computer, right?
Yes, correct.
And by all accounts, that was owned by Pat Clancy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And it was located in his office, right?
I don't know where it was located.
Okay. It's fair to say that when you analyzed the computer back in September, October of 2025, it was an investigatory role that you were using to locate potential evidence, right?
Correct.
And what is it you were looking for?
I was provided a search warrant with search terms, and that's as far as I knew of the case.
And what were the search terms?
I don't recall specifically, but they were spelled out in the search warrant.
So when you have search terms, you take a person's computer, and then what do? You access it through a device?
So I was provided the images. I never saw the physical computer.
So when you got the images, you were able to load them up onto your computer, I imagine?
Yes, we'll use a tool to help parse through that data. Correct.
And then as a result of that, you were able to plug in words that you could search for, right?
Yes.
For example, like suicide?
Suicide would be one.
Drugs?
I mean, I don't think that pertained in this case, but you could search.
It did.
That I don't recall the specific terms in the search warrant.
Okay. So after you did your search for whatever it is that you were looking for, suicide and other, you're unable to tell us what else you look for, but in any event, you came across this entry on August 23rd, and you indicated that the time frame that you're dealing with on that computer, the Surface Pro computer, was 9:40 in the morning. Is that right?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah. You can look at your report too. I mean, if you have documents in front of you, do you have?
I do.
All right, so you can take a look at it. You have a document that's captioned matching results. Is that right?
I do not have that in front of me, but yes.
And would that be the search that you conducted?
Is that the magnet tool report?
I don't know what it is, and I get cataract surgery and I can have it seen. So it's just, what is that?
This is the main page of the forensic tool.
Okay. And looking at the main page of the forensic tool, does it indicate the date is August 23rd?
That's the talking about this highlight here?
Yeah, but what does that indicate?
That's an inbox. That's not that.
All right, so what time?
Cooper, could you keep your voice up or make sure you speak to that microphone?
So that. Correct. It navigated to the Facebook person's account.
Okay, so that would tell us that that particular Facebook account was accessed, and then that conducted the search you just testified to. At the next thing.
This does not have. This here does not have.
Facebook visit. All right. How about this next one? Does that have the Facebook visit?
This one does. Yes, correct.
Both of us. Yeah, both of us. Go ahead.
Yes, that'd be right here.
All right. Thank you. Now, just before I leave, above that, does that also indicate like these two top? What are these two top lines?
That would be that was a CNBC web visit, which was typed in, and then there's a access to a Google Gmail account.
And whose
inbox.
Google Gmail account was that?
That I don't know.
Because that's those two lines and references to the Google account were not in your report, right? You started off with the Facebook search, if you will.
Yes.
So you started off with Lindsay Facebook that was signed into the homepage on Patrick Clancy's Surface Pro computer, right?
So my full report has all of the article
data from the Surface Pro and the HP laptop as well, right?
Yes, correct.
And your October report back in was it 25 or was it 22?
25.
So, but nothing changes on the computers. I mean, whatever your searches are and your records don't change over the years, right?
No, as long as it's preserved in that state, and the images of that computer will remain the same.
Okay, so and it's fair to say that with this investigation, obviously happening back in 2022, that the computers were hermetically sealed and stuck somewhere with an evidence locker to make sure that they're preserved, right?
Yes, that would be best practice. Okay. That would be correct.
So then in October of 25, the district attorney's office asked you to conduct a search of the computer, apparently. Is that right?
The trooper in the Plymouth State Police Detective Unit reached out.
And that would be McElligan, right?
No, it was not.
Okay. Do you know who it was?
Trooper Justin Paul.
Justin Paul.
Correct.
Okay. And as a result of that, you then prepared your report. And one of the things that you did is you noted that on August 23rd of 2022, at 9:40 and 08 seconds, that there was an access to the Lindsay Facebook account, right?
Oh, there was a visit to that page, correct.
Right. And then that page continued on to look for Tom Hall and Walking to Memphis or whatever and the songs, right?
Yes.
On Spotify?
Yeah, the song. Yes, after that was a Spotify.
And then the time frame of that would be that you went to a hyperlink that took them to methods of suicide. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, were there any searches on that computer for example, ways to kill?
No, there was not.
To your knowledge, and I understand that you might be stuck with what you investigated, but are you aware that there were any searches from Lindsay Clancy or Patrick Clancy on ways to kill? You ever heard that?
In my initial report back in October, that contains all of the evidence artifacts that I had tagged as evidence and provided. I did not come across that, no.
Right. So basically, what you are leaving with the jury would be that on that date of August 23rd, at approximately 9:40 in the morning, and then carrying forward with jumping from Tom Hall to the Wikipedia account to the underlined name, suicide, jumping to that page, that all occurred between 9:40 and, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
Correct.
Did you know, sir, that on August 23rd, prior to your report indicating the Facebook account, that Mr. Clancy signed in, and it was Mr. Clancy's email that accessed the Facebook account for Lindsay Clancy?
I did not.
And that was not included in your report, was it?
No, it was not.
And you know that the Clancys had 3 children, right?
I did not.
Well, you know that you were working on a case where Lindsay Clancy was the mother, and she was married to Patrick Clancy, right?
Correct.
And did you know, sir, that on August 23rd of 2022, that 2-year-old child was brought by Lindsay to South Shore Health for Dawson's ear recheck, that he had problems with congestion, but no complaints of ear pain, no fever? And that was on August 23rd, 2022, that he was examined at 10:15 in the morning.
I'm not privy to those facts.
So you don't know that Patrick Clancy's email signed into Lindsay Clancy's Facebook account?
The default profile was signed into the Chrome browser.
And then that accessed the Facebook account, which looked up Tom Hall, the singer, right?
Yes, correct.
That then led to the Wikipedia talking about suicide.
That is correct.
Led to the Spotify talking about Somewhere in Memphis, whatever the song was, right?
Yes.
And this was all occurring from 9:40 in the morning until, like I said, 10 o'clock thereabouts, right?
Correct.
You tagged actual data from the Surface Pro as well as the HP laptop, right?
I did.
And your October report contained searches from the Surface Pro, right?
Yes.
And you recall, for example, just a representative sample that, and this would be on the Surface Pro computer. Now we're jumping ahead to December 5, not August of 22, December of 22. One of the inquiries of the Google searches was what to do when a psychiatrist overprescribed, right?
Yes.
Searches for medications, right?
Yes.
Including Lamictal, right?
Correct.
Can bipolar disorder be temporary, right?
Yes.
Can benzos reveal bipolar disorder, right?
Yes.
How long are detox programs, right?
Yes.
What is DBT? I'm just saying that's a search. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I had to look that one up, too.
Okay. Lamictal versus it says Zolafy, but I would suggest it would be Zoloft. That was a search, right?
Yes, correct.
What is mania? It was a search, right?
Yes.
Ketamine for benzo withdrawal. January 18th of 2023 was a search, right?
Yes.
Ketamine therapy on January 18th of 2023, correct?
Yes.
Now, maybe not personally, but Steve Veronneau.
बच गया बैंड। इसीलिए इंजन में सिर्फ सैफ्सॉल एस्टर 5। जब एस्टर से फ्रिक्शन 35% कम हो तो राइड मक्खन जैसी स्मूथ हो। इंजन में सैफ्सॉल एस्टर 5 रहेगा तो अब कौन रोकेगा?
Well, the DA reached out to you about a month ago and asked you to revisit your investigation, and as a result of that, you created another report, didn't you?
I did.
And that would just be on July 26th of 26, right?
Yes.
And that was after the DA reached out to you, but didn't tell you it was because we had questions that Mr. Verino asked me to find out about, right?
Yes, I was not privy to that.
So as a result of dealing with the DA in July 26th of 26, you then prepared your report, and the purpose of that report was to find out more details, if you could, pertaining to the, quote, methods of suicide page, right?
Correct.
And in your July 26 report, you then went into detail about your findings, correct?
Yes.
And we would agree that that particular webpage was not a search for methods of suicide. It was actually the Tom Hall and the music, right?
That is correct.
And then the URL shows access to Lindsay's Facebook profile, correct? You accessed and found out that Lindsay's Facebook profile
was a web visit.
Right.
Yes, correct.
But you don't know that it was Lindsay that was actually using that computer to search for Tom Hall, right?
I don't know who was sitting behind that.
You don't know that Patrick Clancy plays the guitar, do you?
I do not.
You don't know that Patrick Clancy is a music aficionado, right?
I do not.
You don't know that Patrick Clancy enjoyed Tom Hall music, do you?
I do not know that.
And you certainly don't want to leave it with this jury that Lindsay was looking up ways to commit suicide in August of 22, do you?
All I'm presenting is the facts that were presented in front of me.
And it was a couple more questions, sir. When a user logs into their own Facebook account, it doesn't populate or bring you directly to the actual profile page. It brings you to the home page, right? That shows your followers and things like that.
I think so. I don't have Facebook or social media, so maybe. I don't know.
That's all I have for this gentleman, Your Honor.
All right. Come up.
I would ask if I could, Judge, the two documents that I was questioning him from, could I introduce those into evidence? I think he agreed that was part of the search.
Can we just approach?
Sure, yeah. That may be admitted.
And, Your Honor, I would offer, if I could, the medical records from the pediatrics associates that.
They're already in evidence.
Well, I'd like to have it focused on that. You don't mind if we put that.
Well, we mark that for identification. We can address whether or not. I want to double check. I haven't gone through all the records either. Oh, I understand. We'll mark that for identification.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's 235 exhibit for identification.
Sir, just for clarification, before when I was doing direct, if at any point I said August 23rd, 2023, what you did when you did the Wayback Machine was searches for around the time period of August 22nd, 2022, correct?
Correct.
And anything that you looked at that day regarding the search for suicide methods or any of the other places that were visited were August 23rd, 2022, correct?
Correct, 2022.
And the visit to the Grafton Bridge Wikipedia page was at 9:48 a.m., correct? Not 10 a.m.?
That visit was at 9:48, correct.
Okay. And defense counsel asked you about the defendant being at the doctor's at 10:15 a.m. Are you aware that it only takes 4 minutes to drive from her home at 47 Summer Street in Duxbury to the Kingston location of the pediatrics?
I was not, and I also wasn't aware that they went to the doctor's.
And you can't tell us who was behind the computer at different times, correct?
No.
You can't tell us whether people used the computer, then got up and let someone else use it, and then went back to using it, correct?
No, you cannot.
You can only show us the data that you observed that day, correct?
That is it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, what has been marked for P for identification, which would constitute the health information records from the South Shore Health, pertinent to the child. You're aware, sir, that the records, or you're aware, sir, you're not aware that the child was brought to the doctors not at 10:15, but was brought to the doctors around 10 o'clock in the morning. You aware of that?
I'm not aware of any of that.
And did you know how old the child was?
Sir, my testimony is related to the.
So you don't?
Computer.
The answer is no?
I do not. No.
Okay. So is it fair to say, sir, that, I mean, from your life experience, that when someone has to bring a child, a young baby, to a doctor, you got to get him dressed, you got to feed him, you got to get in the car, you got to drive, and that's the 4-minute ride as well, right?
I'm not privy to any of that information.
Thank you.
All right. Anything further?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You may sit down. Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Timothy Chiappini.
Want to stop right there? Please.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony and the evidence you shall give to the court and the jury will not come between the Commonwealth and the defendant? Thank you, sir. You may have a seat.
Want to stop, please?
All right. Good morning, sir. Attorney Sprague, please.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Timothy Chiappini. Last name is spelled C-H-I-A, P as in Peter, P as in Peter, I-N-I.
Where do you work?
I work for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for the Department of State Police.
How long have you worked for the state police?
I graduated the Academy in March of 2012.
What is your current assignment?
I am currently the unit commander for the Critical Incident Technical Investigations Team.
How long have you been doing that?
Since approximately April of this year.
What was your assignment in January of 2023?
I was assigned to the State Police Detective Unit for the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office.
Do you have specialized training in cell phone forensics?
I do.
And could you describe that, please?
I was initially certified as a Cellbrite physical operator and a Cellbrite certified operator, Cellbrite certified physical analyst in March of 2017.
And are you also trained in gray key and magnet?
I have been trained in gray key examination since August of 2021, and I've been familiar with the forensic program known as Axiom in that course, but I'm not certified in Axiom.
And regarding Cellbrite, can you describe that software for us?
Cellbrite is a forensic access and acquisition tool for cell phone or mobile device forensic extractions. It also has an analysis component as well.
And were you asked to do a forensic analysis on a cell phone belonging to Lindsay Clancy in 2023? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Cellbrite is an access and acquisition tool for mobile device forensics and cell phone extractions. It also has an analysis component for extractions.
And were you asked to do a forensic analysis on a cell phone belonging to Lindsay Clancy in 2023?
I was.
Did you do that?
I did.
And how did you do that?
I performed an advanced logical extraction on the iPhone device belonging to Lindsay Clancy.
Can you tell us what that means in just lay terms that we could all understand?
An advanced logical extraction of an iPhone is essentially an iTunes backup. It is the information or data from the phone that you, as a user, can see, including images, calls, text messages, browser artifacts, basically everything that the person would see that uses an iPhone.
And is it just making a copy of everything that you could see on that phone?
That's correct.
And what is the analysis portion of, you mentioned you do Celebrate extraction and Celebrate analysis. What's the analysis portion?
In January of 2023, the analysis software would be Celebrate Physical Analyzer. And with that, you can also export a report to be utilized in Celebrate Reader.
So basically, are you just taking someone's phone, making a copy of the data that's on it, and then looking through the data?
That's correct.
Is it an exact copy?
Yes. When the phone is forensically extracted by the Celebrate software, a hash.
मेरा हेडफोन दे।
तू भी तो मेरी चीजें लेती है।
वो तो है, जैसे ये फोटो, दिस कैन बी अ लिटिल सीक्रेट, और राखी भी आ रही है, सो
क्या? You know ना, I love you.
तू ऐसे ही रहना।
पता है, मेरे बिना तो बोर हो जाएगी।
Natural diamonds in 925 silver from rupees 5,000.
So when you say use different filters, can you put things in categories to organize it so that, for example, can you put all the photos together and all the text messages together?
The Celebrate Physical Analyzer tool automatically parses the data into various categories, and it processes media, various forms of media, images, videos. It processes different direct communication, whether it be through a web application such as Instagram or the native messaging application on the device known as iMessage. So it parses the information automatically, and you're allowed to look at different categories.
So does it create a report with all the data?
I can create a report from the extraction, and it has all the data contained in the report, and I can filter it based on the parameters that I'm allowed to look at legally.
And when you do that extraction of a phone, do you get everything that's on the phone?
Depending on the type of extraction, I get all the data that's available to me by the forensic tool that I'm using at the time.
So do forensic tools improve over time to allow examiners to get more and more data from phones?
Yes.
So basically, what you were able to get from Ms. Clancy's phone was what the tool you were using at the time was capable of getting at that time.
I performed the most comprehensive extraction type that I was able to do at the time of the examination.
And then there were improvements to that system following what you did that may have allowed other examiners to get more information.
That's correct.
Were you asked to generate some reports about certain sections of the defendant's phone?
I was.
We could pull up the... Could look at the screen, please. Were you able to create a report regarding data on Ms. Clancy's phone from November of 2022 to December of 2022?
Yes.
Can we zoom in on that, please? And could you just explain for us the different columns we're seeing here?
The columns are automatically generated by the software when you create a supplemental report. This is a supplemental report created through the Celebrate Physical Analyzer software analysis tool. When you create the supplemental report, you can stipulate to certain parameters, certain content, certain timeframes based on your investigation. In this case, there are multiple columns at the top reflecting the different types of data, the timestamp for that data, a description and the source file for the data. This is a timeline report, and therefore it reflects those exact columns, and that is predetermined by the software.
So, for example, where it says type, what is that telling us?
That's where Celebrite has parsed the data and categorized it based on the forensic extraction.
So there, number one, where it says activity census data.
The health database within the phone.
If there was something in the direction box, what is direction?
Direction could be related to a call incoming to the device or outgoing from the device.
So if one was a phone call, it would say to or from?
I believe the exact categorization would be incoming or outgoing.
Incoming or outgoing, okay. And then the attachment box?
A message, typically a MMS message or multimedia message, a text message that contains a photo would be listed as an attachment. It could also be associated with an email that has an attachment or some type of transaction on the phone that resulted in something being attributed as an attachment.
And then what about the location box?
If the data source has location information associated with it, then that box would have data filled out. This report is 768 pages, so there's a variety of sources of data within this report.
And what about timestamp? Where it says timestamp, the date and time, is that Eastern Standard Time?
It is. It's UTC -5 as the time of this search warrant, the time frame of this incident occurred in January of 2023. Therefore, the extraction reflects the exact time frame of the time zone of the device at the time of the extraction.
And where it says party, what would be in that column?
Again, this is a timeline report. Therefore, there's a variety of data sources contained within it. There is chats or messages that occur from the user of the device to other people, and those parties would be listed within the chat, otherwise known as a group message.
So if it was a text message, the direction would say incoming or outgoing, and the party would say who the text was to or from?
It would say who the participants are in the conversation.
So if it's one person you're texting, it would have that person's name, but if you're in a group text, it would have all of the names?
Correct.
And then what about the description box?
Description box is based on the database information. It has some information associated with the actual data that was parsed by Celebrite. It also provides the source file. The source file is the database that Celebrite parsed the data from. Everything that you see as far as activity sensor data or any other categorizations, that's done by the software. The software parses that data to make it more readable for the examiner, but everything is associated with an actual database within the device.
And so, for example, where it says source health, that's coming from the health section of the phone?
Specifically the health database, Health DB.
And where it says source file, Lindsay's, how does that name populate there for source file?
Indicating that it comes from Lindsay's iPhone. That is the name that the software detects from the name of the device when it conducts the extraction.
Where the box for party, if it's a phone call or a text message and it has a person's name in there, say I text you and your name is there, how does that populate? How does your name get into that box? Is it something that the phone gets from incoming information, or is it something that's in my phone?
The tool is only able to take the information that is present on the device at the time. In order for contact to be in a phone, it would have to be entered by the user.
So would it be whatever I name your phone number is what will show up in the party?
Correct.
So if I have, say, my mother's phone number in there and I say mom for her contact information, it will show up as mom?
The software will show up, will display the phone number and the contact name that was detected by the tool from the extraction.
So if I've put a contact in mom and the phone number will show up in mom.
Correct.
Can you search within this PDF?
Yes.
And do you do that by clicking on the search bar there at the top?
Yes, this is Microsoft Edge, and that is the proper method within this application.
And so if we were to search, for example, McLean,
I'm not sure of the spelling.
there we go. Sometimes it takes a second to populate.
It does. It's a large document. It's, as I said, it's 768 pages. So depending on the machine that you're using to conduct your analysis, it could take some time for the document to load.
Okay, and do you use these arrows here up and down to go to each spot that word is located?
Correct. The application Microsoft Edge has detected 4 entries for the spelling that is in the search box, and you can navigate to each of those 4 entries by using those arrows.
So, for example, here at message 6951, it says it's an instant message. It's outgoing, meaning it's going out from Lindsay's phone.
That's correct.
It's on December 21st, 2022 at 2:57 p.m., correct?
Yes, Eastern Time.
And then it says from Lindsay owner to Allison, correct?
Yes.
So that indicates that it's a text message from Lindsay to someone named Allison, correct?
Yes, with the corresponding phone number.
And then here where it says more of a general depression mental health program like at McLean Hospital, is that the body of the text message that would have been sent from Lindsay's phone to Allison?
Correct.
And you can search through the PDF for whatever term you're looking for, whether it be Patrick or medications or anything that you're searching for. It will populate any text messages or searches about those keywords.
Yes.
If we could have the next one, please. Did you also do a report regarding things that were downloaded onto Ms. Clancy's phone?
Yes.
You can look here. Is this that report?
Yes, again, this is a supplemental report created within the physical analyzer analysis tool from Celebrate.
And what is this report showing us?
A singular item from the documents section of the project tree, or otherwise known as the analysis component of Celebrate Physical Analyzer, and it's one single document.
And do you just, this blue hyperlink here at the top, 2022, 10, 12, 15, 28, is that what you click on to access the document?
Yes, when you create a supplemental report within Physical Analyzer, it when it creates the PDF, if it has an attachment associated with it, that attachment will be in a separate folder within the report. That way, when you click on the actual hyperlink, you're brought to the physical document itself.
And for example, in this report, there was a request for medical leave form that was downloaded to the defendant's phone.
Yes.
If we could go to the next one, please. What are we seeing here in this report from December 26, 2022 to January 24th, 2023? Is this the same type of search for any information and data on the phone during that time period?
Again, a timeline report is a chronological report of a sequence of events on the device, and it has the same categories as the previous exhibit. And in here, the first item within the date parameters happens to be a calendar entry.
And so if we go here to page 846 of the document, can you explain for us here, Is this web history, website visits that are documented on the phone?
That's one of the categories listed as an artifact. The items shown here on the screen are all associated with web browsing.
And here where we see 10773 and 10774, and they both state, can you treat a sociopath? Those are two entries that have basically the same search term, correct?
Yes.
And that was on January 20th, 2023?
Yes.
And they both say 8:28:29 p.m. So is it possible to do two searches at the same time, like it is displayed there?
The Celebrate Physical Analyzer tool parses the information in ways that the information can be categorized in a multitude of ways. Simply because there is more than one entry does not mean that something was done more than once. It's simply just a category that Celebrate has identified. You could have an item that's in searched items because that's what the tool has identified as a searched item. Also within web history, as in the search item occurred within the web history, does not necessarily mean that it was done more than once. It's the job of the examiner to be able to look at the timestamps and the associated databases to determine, is this more than one entry or the same action just categorized in multiple ways.
And when reviewing Ms. Clancy's phone, did you see numerous occasions where it looked like something was searched multiple times, but it all had the same exact timestamp?
That's correct.
And so what you just testified to make sure I'm understanding it, would it be accurate to state that one search could be documented and located in many different areas of the phone?
It could be parsed in multiple ways by the analysis tool.
So basically categorized?
Correct.
So it's one search that's categorized as multiple different things?
That's possible.
And so here, when we have the search at the same exact time down to the second, that appears to be one search for can you treat a sociopath, not two, correct?
Yes.
We can go to the next one, please. Now, this area here, the separate report, is this the notes that were found on Ms. Clancy's phone?
That's correct.
And if we could zoom in on that, please. And there's basically detailed in journal form, correct?
Yes.
Starting October 24th, 2022, and moving down, correct?
The summary portion that you just pointed to is automatically generated by the application when it reads the first few lines of text. The more relevant date is in the column to the left.
So over here, where it says created, October 25th, 2022, that's when the note is first created?
That is the date that's detected by the analysis tool from the operating system of the device.
What does modified mean?
That's the date that was detected by the forensic tool and the last time that this note was modified according to the operating system.
Modified mean it was changed in some way?
Yes.
And so if I start a note in my phone on October 25th and I go in there every day and change it, and the last time I change it is November 3rd, will it show every modification or just the last modification?
The only date timestamp that will show is the last modification, unless the forensic tool is able to categorize each time the note was changed. I'm only able to detect the modified timestamp or last modified timestamp and just the entirety of the note.
And excuse me, you don't know how many times this note was modified, correct?
Based on this forensic tool and this artifact, no.
Can you tell what within the note was changed?
I cannot.
So everything could have been the same and maybe a date changed, or there could have just been a date and everything was changed on November 3rd. You just don't know.
There could just been a one character change on the last modified date. But with this forensic tool and this artifact.
What's the date?
November 3rd.
Thank you.
And if we could just scroll down to the October 25th entry. And I would just like you to read This portion of the note, I would read it. I'm sorry, but having some difficulty.
I'm sad and depressed because I am not able to parent my third child like my first. I want to treat any one of my babies like my first, but I know that's not a feasible possibility. I did with Cal now, this baby. Feeling so depressed last evening when Cora and Dawson came home from school. I know it runs off on them, so we had a pretty rough evening. I want to feel love and connection with all my kids. I'm also probably having a bit of an internal conflict because my whole life I wanted to have a lot of kids. I still don't want Cal to be our last, but I have a lot of figuring out to do before I have another. I'm on the fence about starting a new medication for anxiety/depression. I just want to feel happy. I want to be able to relax and take care of my kids. And then when they go to bed at night, I want to deeply relax and hang out with Pat and then fall into a deep sleep for 8 hours, get up, and pour hard into myself for an hour and a half. Cal was so very planned and desired. I want to be able to give him all the love he deserves. I guess that's what it's like to be the third child, though. He's not the first third child to ever exist. I think I know he'll be okay, but it's really hard for me. I hate that he has to put himself to sleep. I'm sad I'm not breastfeeding anymore, but I think deep down these are the right choices.
If you could continue.
As for the sleep training, I needed a baby that slept through the night because I simply do not have the opportunity in my life to catch up on sleep. I just don't. If there was a time for me to nap every day, then that may not have been the case, but there really isn't. When Cal naps, I have to take care of Cora and Dawson. That's just how it is. It feels cruel to me, really sleep deprived and paranoid. I know what we did was the right thing and okay. As for the breastfeeding, it kind of goes hand in hand with the sleep training. Once he started sleeping most of the night, it was then a daily struggle to keep up my milk supply. I was having to take a ton of supplements and constantly think about eating and drinking enough to keep the supply up. And then I was having to think about pumping extra to keep it up, and that was really hard to do with Cora and Dawson around. When I tried to leave Cal to go out with Cora and Dawson, I was stressed about the pumping, and not to mention the fact that Cal was at home and not taking a bottle, so it was a battle of if I should pump or not. I know I did the right thing because I need to be able to leave Cal with someone and get fed. As much as I don't want to leave him, I need to be able to. I need to be able to be present with my other kids. I still really, really want a fourth child, but I need a really good therapist before then. I'm on the fence about starting a new med or not. I want to feel happy, but it would be nice to feel authentically happy and not fake. But I need to feel happier than I did last evening because then I was pretty depressed and not enjoying any of my children. It was really sad. I needed the breastfeeding off of my plate. I'm struggling so hard because I wanted to parent each of my kids like my first, and since I can't, that's depressing to me. This is definitely the root cause of all our problems. Now I feel like I'm not parenting any of my kids the way I want to, and that makes me sad too. But I'm going to try my best today. Things I love doing that help me love and appreciate and enjoy my kids are activities with them. I definitely started having some depression after Cora, but once I started getting up and out with her, I felt much better. I think signing Cal up for baby music class would be a great thing. Maybe Fridays can be my day with him. I've just fallen out of the habit of doing anything fun, anything for myself, anything with Pat, and I need to work on that. On a positive note, I had a great deep night of sleep. I'm terrified of something happening to my kids or doing something wrong to mess up their development. Our generation is inundated with information about every aspect of parenting and everything that go wrong if you don't get it right, and all the scary things happening in the world. It's insane. For the last 5 years, I've just filled my mind with all things parenting, and it's just unhealthy.
Thank you. And so everything that you just read would have been written and filled in by the user, correct?
Correct.
If we could go to the next one. This is another note, is that correct?
That's correct.
And this note, it says it was created December 22nd, 2022, but then it was modified on January 23rd, 2023, correct?
Yes.
And this note here, again, you don't know how many times it was modified. You just know the last date it was modified, correct?
That's correct.
And you don't know what was changed in the note. You just know that something was.
Correct.
Okay. If we could go to the next one. Now, in this report, we're seeing some photographs. Is that correct?
Yes.
And why did you flag these photographs?
The photographs had multiple modification dates relevant to the investigation.
How so?
The photographs have created, modified, and access date that are all the same. However, the metadata indicates a much earlier time.
What is metadata?
Metadata is data about data. An image is data. And with the Cellbrite physical analyzer tool, you're able to see the data about, in this case, an image. Metadata would be the device used to capture the image. It would be potentially based on the user settings, location data associated with the image, where the image was when it was taken, where the device was when the image was taken. A lot of times it'll tell the size of the image or the type of image file that it is.
And so basically, when you look at the metadata of a photograph, you can tell what device was used to take it and the date that the photograph was taken on?
Correct.
And can you also tell if that photograph has been changed or modified in any way and when it was changed?
Using the forensic tool, I can make inferences based on certain modifications.
And how do you do that?
In this case, the image here is a .jpg. That's the file type of this image. Therefore, I know that the image that I'm seeing is created, modified, and accessed on this date. However, it has a capture time of November 2nd, 2022 at 11:27:15 a.m.
And is there something on here that says when it was modified?
Where the cursor is now, it indicates the modification date.
So above it is when it was created, below it's when it's modified? Or no, down here, capture time and the metadata is when it was initially created, correct?
Correct. And you look at the source file, you can see the source file indicates that the image was modified under the component where it says adjustments.
So just for the jurors looking at this report, here in the metadata, capture time is when the photo was taken. Above it, the 1/23/23, that's the date that the picture was changed in some way?
Yes.
And are you able to tell how the photograph was changed?
I can do analysis based on an image and see that an image from its native format was modified.
So basically, if I'm on my phone and looking at photos and I brighten something or I crop something, crop someone out of a photo, that would show it as being modified?
It would show it as being modified, and in this instance, it created a new file, which is why it has the created and modified date being the same.
And so would it be accurate to state that on this type of phone, when you modify a photo, you can change that photo and leave it there changed, or you can create a new image with that changed photo?
Well, with an iOS device, Apple has the capability of taking what's known as a live photo. It's a proprietary name with Apple, but the exact file type is HEIC file. HEIC stands for High Efficiency Image Container. HEIC or a live photo is essentially that. It's a container or a burst of images that are taken over a very short period of time. It's a more effective way to store an image file within a device. It takes up less room. It also allows the user to have a multitude of pictures to choose from at a single point in time. If you modify an HEIC image to be a singular photo, you can save it to the file type known as a JPEG or JPG.
So a live photo is one of those photos that's taken and you see a little movement before it settles into the photo when you look at it?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that an automatic setting on iPhones that it's set to live and you have to change it if you don't want that feature?
That's correct.
And so if you modify the photo and save that photo, that modified photo is not live.
Correct.
And is that what you saw here? There were a lot of photographs of the children that were accessed and modified in some way.
Yes.
And during what time frame were these photographs accessed and changed?
During the evening hours of January 23rd, 2023.
Okay, if we could go to the next, please. And what is this report displaying?
This is another timeline report with the first events starting January 24th, 2023 at 4 o'clock p.m.
And does it go on January 24th, 2023 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.?
That's correct. It encompasses everything that would be before that time frame. It appears the last entry is 7:02:01 p.m.
And this would contain all of the things that were done with the phone between 4 and 8 p.m. on January 24th, 2023. Is that correct?
Everything that was detected by the forensic tool based on the extraction type.
Okay. And if we could go to the time frame 4:30 to 4:35. Using the tool, we'll search Miralax. Looking here, starting at item 37 at 4:46 p.m., is there a search for Miralax for kids on the phone?
Yes.
And again, we're seeing the search for Miralax for kids, 4:46:55, 4:46:55, the same time over and over again. Is that another example of one search showing up in multiple categories?
Correct. As an examiner, I would be looking at the timestamp and also the category second box in from the left, indicating that the Celebrate software has parsed it in multiple locations.
If you could search 3D. In searching 3D in the document, we see here multiple sources. You could do a search with the number 3. So we see here at 4:43 p.m. on January 24th, a search for the 3V menu, correct?
Yes.
If we could scroll down a little. And again, those are all at the same time, so they indicate one search to the menu.
Yes, and the tools parsed it in multiple categories.
And if we could go back. Was there also a search for an Apple Maps for 3V?
Yes.
And what time was that?
Sorry, there's a glare.
If we could go to 4:13 p.m. And here in Apple Maps, do we see 3V restaurant at 4:13 p.m.?
Yes.
And when you're using a map feature to look up a location, such as Apple Maps, what type of information do you learn when you plug in a location or an address into Apple Maps?
A route preview.
And does that route preview give you a length of time it would take to travel to that location?
Depending on what you indicate as your originating location, yes.
And so if you plug in 3V restaurant to Apple Maps and it maps out a route to get there, does it tell you from your location to 3V how long it would take to get there?
Based on traffic conditions, yes.
Because that changes constantly, correct?
Yes.
So if I open up my Apple Maps and I put in 3V right now from here, at this time, the time it takes to get there might be different than, say, at 6 o'clock tonight.
Yes.
And so if we can go to 4:47 p.m. And here at 4:47 p.m., again, we're seeing the search for Kids Miralax, correct?
Yes.
Is there also a visit to a CVS website here at 4:47:04?
Yes, it's categorized in multiple categories within the tool, but it parsed an artifact at that time.
If you could scroll down a little, please, to the phone call, the next phone call, right here. This outgoing phone call at 4:48:21 to 781-585-6581. Did you learn that that was a phone call to the CVS at 189 Summer Street in Kingston?
Yes.
And so that would be an outgoing phone call from the defendant's phone to CVS.
Yes.
Can we go to 4:53 p.m., please? And then there's a message. It says message 80, outgoing from the defendant's phone at 4:53:09 from Lindsay to Patrick Clancy, correct?
Yes.
And it says, any chance you want to do takeout from 3B? I didn't cook anything. It's been a long day, correct?
That's the content of the message.
Is there a response in message 82 from Patrick to Lindsay?
Yes, there is.
And what is the answer?
Yeah.
And then is there a response from Lindsay to Patrick at message 84?
Yes.
And what is that?
Okie dokie.
And then message 86, again from Lindsay to Patrick, does she send him another message?
She does.
And what does that say?
Check the menu when you can.
And then if you can scroll down to the next message, is that message 90 from Patrick to Lindsay asking if Callan just got up.
It is.
And then message number 92, is that from Patrick to Lindsay saying, also, what are you getting?
Yes.
And then 94 at 5:06 p.m., is that from Lindsay to Patrick, stating, but it was just a short nap in message 96.
Yes.
And then message 97 at 506, 3D menu search.
Yes.
And that source says Safari. Is that a Safari web search for the 3D menu?
Safari is the default web browser on an iOS device, and iOS stands for iPhone operating system.
So that's a basic search on your iPhone for the 3D menu.
Utilizing the Safari web application, correct.
And then number 98 is that another search for Pedialyte.
Correct.
Excuse me. Now both the search for 3D menu and the search for Pedialyte are at 506.45. How does that happen? That there are two searches for two different things at the same time. Message 97, you have on January 24th, 2023 at 506.45, a search for 3D menu. Then the same date at the same time, a search for Pedialyte.
And what's the question?
How does it happen that you have two searches at the same time?
I would only be able to make an inference from here without having the forensic tool available to me.
And what would the inference be?
That there was more than one tab open.
Okay, so on your phone or a computer, when you're doing web searches, you can have multiple pages open, correct?
Yes.
And you can just click on whatever page you want to open, you can click on and that will open up.
Correct. You can select which tab you want within the Safari application.
Tabs, right? Okay. So how many tabs can you have open at any one time?
I'm not sure the number, but I've seen iOS devices capable of having more than 30 or 40 tabs open at a time.
So it wouldn't be uncommon or unusual to have at least two open to two different web searches.
No.
Okay. If we could scroll down a little, please. And then we have in 106 and 105, both messages. First 105, we have a web history at 506.47, the menu at 3V restaurant, again, the source Safari. And then we have cookies at 506.48.3vrestaurant.com. Can you tell us what the difference between those two are?
They're both from different databases. They're both associated with web browsing. Web history is from the history component of the Safari application. Cookies are installed through web browsing. Through legislation, when you visit a website for the first time, you'll typically be prompted, do you want to allow the website to download cookies onto your device? Cookies downloaded on your device serve a multitude of reasons. One might be that it allows the website of the company to be able to track your activity while on their website, which helps them for marketing and business purposes. Another component of cookies would be to enhance the web browsing experience for a website you go to on a regular basis. It would increase the load time. So it is an artifact that is indicative of web browsing.
And so message 108. Again, we have at 506.49, we have a message from Patrick to Lindsay saying, oh, okay, is that correct?
Yes.
And then message 112, we have a message from Lindsay to Patrick where she says Mediterranean Powerball, correct?
Yes.
And that was at 5:07 p.m. We have a message 115 from Patrick to Lindsay at 5:08 p.m. Okay, I'll do scallop and pork belly risotto. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. And then if we could go to 5:10 p.m., the phone call right there. Oh, go back to me. And so we have two phone calls here, one at 5:09 p.m. and one at 5:10 p.m. The first to 508-747-4950, and the other to 508-927-4046. The first one is for 11 seconds, correct?
That's the duration, yes.
And that's noted here above source?
Yes.
And then the second is 47 seconds, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you look into these two phone calls?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall the 508-927-4046 being the number for the 3B restaurant?
Yes.
And if we could scroll down a little bit. Are there further searches at 5:13 p.m., starting at number 128 for Pedialax?
That's correct.
And again, we're seeing that same thing with the same time, but multiple different categories that one search is located in, correct?
Correct. Single artifact, multiple categories that the tool parsed it as.
Can we go to 5:33 p.m., please? Oh, I'm sorry. Stop there. Thank you. 146, message 146, a message from Lindsay to Patrick at 5:15 p.m., which states Pedialex liquid stool softener, correct?
Yes.
And then at 147, we have 5:33:51 p.m. Is that a phone call from Patrick's phone to Lindsay's phone?
Yes.
And that has zeros in it for duration. Does that indicate the call wasn't answered?
It would be an inference.
And then going down to 150, we have an outgoing call from the defendant's phone to Patrick Clancy for 14 seconds at 5:34 p.m., correct?
Yes.
That means the call lasted approximately 14 seconds.
Correct.
And then the last item there, item 152, that is an incoming call to the defendant's phone from Patrick Clancy, correct?
Yes.
And again, we have zeros here indicating that the call wasn't answered, correct?
It's an inference, yes.
If I could have these reports that I just went over.
He admitted.
Did you also, looking through the defendant's phone, access the information on the calendar portion of the phone?
I did.
And the calendar portion of the phone, does that have different types of data, both populated by the phone itself in Apple, and then items populated by the user?
Yes.
Could you give us an example of something that would be populated by Apple and not the user? And that would be. And did you do a report of all the calendar activity for Lindsay Clancy's phone from August 4th, 2022 to January 31st, 2023?
I did.
I could have this marked as an exhibit.
All right, that may be admitted. Mr. Sprague, is this a good time to take the morning break?
I just have one more exhibit to put in, and then I would be done.
That's fine.
Did you? Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
Did you also do a report on all the text messages between the defendant's phone and an individual that had been labeled Mommy?
Yes.
And was that for the month of January 2023?
I did.
We move to have these admitted as the next exhibit.
All right, that may be admitted.
I have nothing further.
All right. So why don't we take the morning recess at this time? All right. So members of the jury are going to take a short recess, and then we'll return back to the case.
All right. Please. Wait, please.
Here's the back to the courtroom.
be in recess on this matter. Thank you.